Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And it's time for another daily dose of dismal Disney. We're going to talk about Rachel Zegler, a person we have not talked about in quite some time because, frankly, I don't really care.
I don't think anybody really cares, which is why we have this article.
This is why we have this article. Yeah, all of a sudden, there's some buzz in the media. It looks like she's trying to do some... I think she is trying to do some damage control. I think she went out and hired a publicist to try to fix her image, but it actually looks like she could be pouring some kerosene on the fire. I do not believe Disney is behind this puff piece, this Rachel Zegler puff piece, where she slams quote-unquote toxic Disney fans. Disney would never approve that.
No. And then she calls them Disney, the right author calls them Disney adults. And then she's making it, of course, if you don't like it, it's not because you don't like, the way it looks or anything else. It's because you don't like women. I've watched women get torn down my whole life. She literally is going to turn it to that. You're a misogynist if you don't like her damn movie.
Yeah, that's basically the point. This is basically she's sticking it to the chuds, using variety. And I look, as somebody who has been on Disney's media list and who has worked around their PR people, this does not feel like a Disney thing because the language being used and what she's saying, and she's going on the offensive, and she's slamming the Disney adults and whatever, and Disney wouldn't do that. They would, I think, honestly, they were probably, if I had to guess, they were just going to drop a trailer, hope she shuts the hell up, kind of like Ezra Miller, and we drop the movie. Hopefully it makes some money.
It's not gonna.
And we just don't ever call you again. Yeah.
The budget's it was over $300 million before. By now, I'm sure it's creeping up closer to 400 plus, and they haven't even done much marketing for it. There's very small chance this movie is going to make any money.
Yeah.
And Disney will not cancel it. And her attitude, and even though some of the things she says sometimes aren't exactly that bad, the way she does it is so sarcastic and smarmy and just, acts like a complete, snotty bitch that it just rubs people the wrong way.
Yeah. She's kind of like the anti-Jenna Ortega. Like, people love Jenna Ortega, and she's got her opinions, but, she never comes across as being better than you or smarmy or condescending.
And all you ever hear about Rachel Zegler is, activism. And she's even making comments that she knows her co-star in the movie, Gal Gadot is from Israel. She's Israeli. Yeah. And she was slamming Israel and the Palestine thing, on social media, not helping the cause. So anyway, this is supposed to be about her and Romeo and Juliet, but it ends up being all about her and, with the whole situation with Disney and Snow White. And it goes on and on and on about how she loves New York and all that stuff. Yeah, here. She doesn't bother trying to understand why it's hard for some of those diehard Disney adults to picture a Latina in their beloved princess's shoes. She's making a children's movie after all. And her family was obsessed with, with the Whitney Houston Brandy Cinderella.
I don't know if I believe that because she is way too young for that movie. That came out, it was a made for TV thing. It was here and gone. I don't know if they reran it on the Disney Channel or not, but it wasn't exactly. It was like, oh yeah, I vaguely remember that Cinderella made for TV movie that was on Disney way back in the day. I don't think that. I personally think that it came up in conversation in relation to her in this situation, and she glommed onto it and was like, oh yeah, we can use that because they've done it before.
Yeah.
Before you get into any further.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, that's okay. You're ready to go. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. You'll get a woohoo if you do.
Woohoo!
Go out to clownfishminus.com. That is our non-plus club. You get exclusive content that you do not get on YouTube. And we're building a community off platform over there. You also get merch discounts. Anybody can buy our merchandise, but you get a discount if you are a Plus Club member. And I've got a video coming or some photos coming of some of this merch. We have the samples, and it's really high quality stuff. And a bunch of you guys have ordered some already. So thank you very, very much for that. All right, let's go.
Back to the show.
Okay,
so she's going about Whitney Houston, and then she said that this is where she gets that swarmy, they even said she smirks when she does it. She's trying to be like, even children can get this, unlike you adults, She goes, I grew up in a house where that was Cinderella. Obviously, you watched the cartoon, but a child's mind is the most amazing thing where you're just like, okay, that's Cinderella, she said. But the blonde hair, blue-eyed, blue dress Cinderella from the cartoon is also Cinderella. And also Hilary Duff is Cinderella in a Cinderella story. She smirks. I was able to comprehend that at a young age.
Look, here's my take on this. Like, I don't like this movie is obviously not for me, right? She's the problem. It's not her race. Mm-mm. It's not like some people. It
is a little weird. I mean, like you can get away with race swapping many of the princesses, but in this case, she's literally described. A lot of people who aren't white were even like, nah, this one's the only one you really can't.
Yeah. Now, somewhere buried in this word salad article,
I have it right here.
She talks about being a DEI hire or something.
Oh, that was above. I thought you meant why, how they're going to change.
Oh, no, we can.
Skin is white as snow.
Yeah, they're going to change the meaning of Snow White, and it seems like it came from TikTok and not originally from the Brothers Grimm.
Ready for this, guys? That they're going to do her Snow White name because it fell back to another version of Snow White that was told in history that none of us have ever heard of, where she survived a snowstorm. And when she was a baby, and the king and queen decided to name her Snow White to remind her of her resilience. Because one of the points of their film is that any young woman or young person is remembering how strong they actually are. Except when you got to Snopes, Snow White was named for her physical appearance of Brothers Grimm from 1812. True. And they go on and talk about how it came from some TikTok place saying that it wasn't necessarily the case, but they do this whole research, and they come back to it, and they believe that the original origins of her name came from her mother, who was based on her appearance. So they could have named her Red because they had her black hair, but they named her Snow White for skin as white as snow.
Yeah, apparently TikTok was trying to retcon the origin of Snow White.
They were saying it was because when she died, she was white or something like that. I don't know, but it's stupid. And even Snopes was like, no. And there's no mention in this. They said they went through all the texts. There's no mention in here about a snowstorm.
Yeah.
But, that's what they're going to go with. That's their new. So she goes down here and they're talking about the social media outrage about Zegler's being cast as Snow White only got louder as time went on because she won't shut her damn mouth. She began saying in red carpet interviews in the summer of 22 that her version of the princess wouldn't spend her days pining over a man. I have that quote. And she was overnight, the trolls took shots at her, disdain for the anime classic, deeming her unworthy of portraying the heroine. Here's what she said. I have it. And what she said was, I just mean that it's no longer 1937. We absolutely wrote a Snow White. And she makes it sound like she was involved. That she's not going to be saved by a prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's going to be dreaming about becoming the leader she knows that she can be, that her late father told her that she could be if she was fearless, fair, brave, and true. That's Mulan. But anyway.
So, again, I'm gonna put this out there, and not to drag poor Jenna Ortega into this situation, but she was cast as Wednesday Addams. Now, there's some debate as to the ethnicity of Wednesday Addams because Gomez Addams, but we don't know exactly what their ethnicity is. They come from the old country, wherever the hell that is, right? And some people complained, not a whole lot, because she was really good and she was very respectful of the role. In fact, she got into fights with the writers on the Netflix show because she said that's not how Wednesday Addams would act. Now she took over from two white actresses. Very few people had a problem with it. She went on to star in Beetlejuice. She did really well. Beetlejuice has done really well. She didn't cause drama.
Nope. Never made it about, social justice or any of that crap.
She just did her job, and I'm sure she's got her opinion. She's said some political stuff here and there or whatever, but it's not her personality, right? So the problem is you, Rachel Zegler. The problem is you. It's not that people can't accept a Latina actress in a role historically held by a white person. You have done absolutely nothing to endear yourself to Disney fans. You've done even compare this with the girl that played the Little Mermaid. She was super excited to play the Little Mermaid. That's what people brought
up. People have said that she was didn't do anything that would damage whatever. But Zegler doesn't shut up, which we're going to talk about that in a minute.
She's unlikable. She's absolutely unlikable.
Now her new thing is you just hate women. Is the new thing because now she's spinning the narrative. Because now she's saying that after she said about that, she said. It made her sad. People thought that. In all honesty, it made me sad that it was taken in such a way. How else do you take that? Because I believe that women can do anything like Barbie, but I also believe that they can do everything. What? Who writes this shit?
Her publicist.
I would never want to box someone in and say, if you want love, then you can't work. Or if you want to work, then you can't have a family. That's not true. What?
What the
That has nothing to do with anything.
Fuck are you
It's never
talking
been true.
about?
It can be very upsetting when things get taken out of context or jokes don't land. They weren't jokes. They weren't jokes. She was in an interview saying, they said that Ferris in the Mall was going to be who's the most just. She wasn't fucking joking. The love story is very integral. A lot of people wrote that we weren't doing that anymore. We were always doing that. I just wasn't what we were talking about in that day. And again, here is her quote. I mean, it's no longer 1937. She's not going to be saved by the prince. She's not going to be dreaming about true love. It's all about her being a leader. She said that. Yeah. Okay. So something got changed somewhere from between there and now. Why is it pushed back? Because they're trying to redo the whole damn fucking thing because, you know, they changed it based on her and then it blew up in their faces. And now she's out there in Variety making it worse.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like this, look, at the end of it, and look, there are some people that have problems with it. Like, I think people would turn, you know, for the most part, they would just kind of be like, oh, okay, they cast her as Snow White or whatever. But the fact that she will not shut the fuck up and just do her job. I mean, it's the same with Ezra Miller. It's like, you're your own worst enemy, right? And then you don't have the talent to back it up.
Oh, well, then it gets better.
You don't have the talent to back this up.
In her personal life, she wants to eventually get married, have kids, and retreat.
Well, good. You might be on your way to that by age 25.
And wants to be a mom and all this other stuff.
Okay, good. Because I don't think I'm going to be honest. I do not believe your phone is going to be ringing.
Not much longer.
No.
Then she's talking about, we talked about the brand expert. So in all her comments and all her anti-help, we talked about this before. I'm not gonna go through all of it, but they talked to brand experts. Daily Mail did, and there's different people, and they're like, you know, Disney's doing the extreme to inflict strong and loaded messaging to the viewers, believing that's empowerment. Actors are media trained and thoughtful about the impact of their words while sticking to key messaging about the film. But with the total rewrite of Snow White, picturing as a boss girl has gone to the heads of their stars. Okay, so that's one person. Other people are like, Rachel is a big name star playing one of the world's most famous fairy tale characters, immortalized by Disney, but instead of taking the lead, like Halle Bailey did in Little Mermaid, embracing her role, she's actually chosen to spoil a narrative and express the new direction she has taken Snow White in. Yeah,
so that's the thing. Like, regardless of what you think, and I haven't seen. Now, you and Pinky Boo saw the new Little Mermaid.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen it. And yeah, there's controversy around it and whatever. And just to me, it looked bad for a number of other reasons, regardless of, you know, casting choices or whatever. But the girl, Halle Bailey, she was I mean, and I'm sure she's getting all kinds of shit, right? But she was a consummate professional. They tried to put her in a very awkward situation on that one talk show. Mm-hmm. I think it was in like Venezuela or something, where they tried to make it about race. And she's just like, I just want to talk about being a mermaid. Like, Rachel Zegler is the problem. She's the problem.
Yeah,
she's causing her own problems.
I mean, brand people are saying,
Disney
must be in crisis talks.
Yes.
Because of this. We know it got pushed back. This is negative press. We know it got pushed back. They were mentioning the whole dwarf debacle, you know, with the magical creatures and all that crap. Now, on to what you said about Little Mermaid. Little Mermaid ended up losing $5 million. After everything was said and done and all the numbers came in, it still lost $5 million, even though it did like $570 million or something like that, lost $5 million. The budget for Snow White was at $300 million last year. Okay. We know for a fact it's going to be far more than that. I think it's pushing 400 million plus easy. We haven't even got to marketing. If they had to redo everything, it's a lot. They're going to have to make at least, okay, let's say 400 for argument's sake. You have to make at least 800 million to break even. There is no way in hell this movie is going to make $800 million. And then when they ran the trailer at D23, now I didn't see it. I never watched it. You saw it and you said it actually looked like Snow White.
Yeah, the trailer, okay, so here's, I'm not sure what's going on here, if it was, you know, extensive reshoots or this is going to be a bait and switch situation or what, but the clips that they showed in the D23 trailer, they were almost exclusively from the 1937 version of Snow White.
But they could have cherry-picked those.
That's what I'm thinking. They could cherry-pick, kind of like what happened with Masters of the Universe Revelation, where lots of shots of He-Man fighting Skeletor, lots and lots of He-Man, but it all came from the first episode.
You mean when we said that was just the first episode? Yeah. There's no way we could have possibly have known that if we didn't know what was going on in the first couple episodes.
Yeah. So I'm saying, like, I think they're going to make this, all they care about is getting people to the theater opening weekend, right? And so they're going to make it look as Snow White as possible. But I'm telling you, again, as somebody who's worked around Disney, I'd be shocked if Disney actually gave their blessing on this. This feels like Zegler went out and hired her own
what was
PR
supposed
person.
To be about Broadway, and for the most of the article, it was about Snow White.
Because nobody gives a shit about Broadway. They're like, no, talk about Snow White. That's what everybody knows you for. Shoot your mouth off about this movie. Like, most people are like, didn't that fucking movie come out yet?
Yeah, I think that's part of it. People, how long it's been in production for years,
like,
and it keeps getting pushed
now.
back, and it keeps getting changed. Now it's not coming out till like March of next year, and it was a train wreck. And they were bragging about the stuff at D23 and all the interviews and stuff. How they girl bossed the hell out of Snow White, did not go well. And now I never said that. You took it out of context. I have your quote. They didn't take it out of context, sweetie. They didn't.
No.
So stop your bullshit. Stop trying to make it about something else. The problem is you. Yeah,
she is the problem. And like I said, there are many other instances of non-white actresses who
it's not even her color or what color she is. It's because of her attitude problem.
Yeah, it's kind of like Ezra Miller, right? It's just like, oh, everybody's against me because of whatever, because my they them. And it's like, no, you're crazy and you're mean.
You're an asshole.
You're an asshole.
And the thing is, like in this case, it's like most of the complaints weren't even about her not being white. It was about the fact that she was saying they were going to girl boss the hell out of Snow White, and then they screwed over a bunch of actors with dwarfism, and then there's magical creatures. Now there's like a whole troop of Night Colors or Benetton rejects. And I'm just like, what the hell is this movie?
I think it's going to come out after the movie comes out. I think my prediction is it's going to be a lot closer to original Snow White than it would have been a year ago. Because
you'll never know that.
You'll never know. We'll hear the behind the scenes drama in some like New York Times tell-all in like 3 years. Like
when the NDAs are up, yeah.
When the NDAs are up, and then it'll turn out this movie wound up costing them 2 to 3 times what the reported budget was because of all the reshoots and and it's gonna be a whole effing story.
And they're gonna blame, it was because of the strikes. No. Most of this problem is because of Zegler. I mean, let's be honest here.
Yeah.
And she's out there hiring a PR person, clearly.
I do not believe that her phone is going to ring unless this movie makes $1 billion, which there's no way in hell it's going to.
Even then, if it even makes $1 billion, they're not going to make much money off of it.
No. They had to rebuild the set. The set burnt down. They had to rebuild that.
They should have canceled this shit 2 years ago.
Yeah, God was telling them to cancel.
I know, and they didn't do it. So anyway, we're going to wrap this up.
We're going to wrap this up, guys. There you go. There's your daily dose of dismal Disney. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.
Bye.
Join the reef. Go to clownfish-.com. That's clownfish-.com. You will get exclusive access to podcasts and videos and comic strips and more, as well as merch discounts. Check it out. If you were a member, you could get this t-shirt, this dismal t-shirt on our website. You'd get a 10% discount on that. You can also join in the community on clownfish-.com. Thank you so much for the support.